Alright guys, well I'm back today with the brand new Generation II SLx 3-18 from Primary Arms. This is a jack of all trades mid-range to long-range optic that comes in at an affordable price and has features of $1,000 plus rifle scopes but comes in at about $499. If you follow me on my Instagram page, Patreon page, Twitter, and YouTube memberships, you can get a jump on deals, and you can also find more information about this and other Primary Arms optics on the campsite page, and all of that info will be over there and places to find the best prices, so definitely check that out in the description below. Before we get too far into it, I do want to give a huge shout out to Nautilus Ammunition for sponsoring the 223 to help make this video. I've got the code 704TACTICAL for 5% off your order. This ran great out of this Daniel Defense upper assembly and was a tack driver with this setup. It's a perfect SPR setup, a very nice long range, again, to mid-range setup, and this ammo performed great. All of that info will also be in the description below, as well as codes to save yourself some money. But let's dig in to this optic, and in a nutshell, this is going to be one of my go-to optics for long to mid-range shooting around the $500 price point. There's really nothing, in my opinion, that's competing with this. And time again, Primary Arms offers those options at every single price point, whether it be right at $150 for a scope, all the way up to $2,000 for a scope. They've got something that is truly competing with everything else in the market, combined with their ACSS reticle system. And that's where a lot of these optics really shine, combined with the glass clarity and overall specs and features. So right off the bat, this one has a 30mm tube, so any of the 30mm scope mounts are going to work. It's got a side parallax adjustment, side illumination, and then it also has zero stop turrets, which is nice. Those are features you see on more higher end scopes, and they're bringing a lot of those features to this optic. We'll talk about the illumination part of this and the kind of just a user perspective portion of this review, but I want to go on with the mechanical overview of this scope. It also has the universal throw lever that's built into it and an adjustable diopter, and all of the turrets are very nice. The sounds are very audible in that, and that's key too if you don't have a tactile feel, but this also has a very tactile feel. Now, are they the best turrets I've ever felt? They're not the best, but again, we are talking about comparing this to $1,000 and up optics, and it does a great job in its price point. So very nice turret grip on the top. They're very large turrets, so you can really get a good hold of them and make precise adjustments. So great turrets on this optic. The throw lever itself is very nice. It gives you that little bit of added grip so you can adjust that. The throw knob or the zoom knob is just a touch stiff, but overall it's great. I mean, there's really no issues whatsoever. You're not going to bump it and knock it over. It does come with flip-up lens covers in the box, so another nice touch. Now let's start talking about that user experience, and the first thing I want to discuss is the eye box and eye relief, because that's going to be key on an optic like this, especially when you consider it's a 3-18 zoom. The 3-18 zoom is what I really like to go with for a long-range optic, because you can still put it back to the 3 power setting and scan across a field if you were hunting coyotes or game and you wanted to track something across a field. You wanted a wide field of view to see if anything else was coming in the picture, but then you can zoom into the 18 power setting for 1,000-yard shots or precision shots. So that's a great zoom level, and one of my favorite zoom options on the market right now, and Primary Arms nails it. The eye box and eye relief is great because you do get a very generous eye box and eye relief, meaning how far away or close up to the optic you can be. It's very forgiving, up, down, left, and right. It's very accommodating, so if you were to take this into a deer stand and you didn't quite get a great position, you can still make out the reticle system, especially at that like 3 to 7 power setting. Again, when you may be moving your optic with your rifle, following something across a field, or just kind of tracking something that you may want to engage. So good opportunities there for a wide variety of shooting positions with that generous eye box and eye relief. The glass is crystal clear. It's great on the 3 power setting and the 18 power setting. You don't get like a fisheye effect, and that's pretty darn impressive for a $500 optic that has both the 3 and the 18 power setting. The reticle selection on this is the Athena BRP mil reticle system, and it gives you a ton of information without being too confusing. You can see when you zoom it all into the 18 power setting, as you saw in the intro, it does give you a chevron infinity aiming point, which is perfect. Also gives you ranging tools built in so you can range a target effectively, which is pretty darn impressive. And then it gives you a ton of information for leader lines and windage lines. And if you want more information about that ranging tool that's built right in, you could see that right there. Some of the things I do want to mention though, and we discussed earlier, the illumination, that's going to only get bright enough for like twilight or dusk shooting hunting applications, or when you may be shooting at something with a darker background in the evening. That's not going to be like daytime bright illumination, but you don't really need daytime bright illumination on a scope that's a 3 to 18. This is a little bit larger of a scope, but it's not overly large by any means. It definitely fits perfectly on a flat top AR, and this is a 16-inch barrel AR, and it balances nicely. Again, the zoom lever was just a little stiff. I would like to see it just a little bit loose, but overall, I mean, this thing is a darn near perfect optic for the $500 price point in this category. I love the fact that Primary Arms doesn't remain stagnant. They're always improving, they're always updating, and they're always producing really good items at quality items at very good prices. I've fallen in love with their optics, and again, this line of scope, especially the 3 to 18 version, I really want to stress that. Like, the 3 power allows you to shoot 25 yards, 50 yards, plink around at cans, no issues whatsoever. And then that 18 power setting really makes you stretch it out. The very first time I ever shot 1,000 yards was at a YouTube event through a Primary Arms optic, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago. And considering they've updated them and improved them since then, it only gets easier and it only gets better. And that's thanks to their just dedication to us, the user. Dedication to continuously improving their optics to make them more affordable, yet more precise, better quality, easier to use, and better reticle systems. I'm a huge fan of this. Again, all of the information will be in the campsite in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.